Mining jobs, having the rug pulled out from underneath you. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today I'm just going to talk about how things have changed in the last couple of months and how unfortunately a lot of people have had the rug pulled out from underneath them when applying for jobs. And it also includes the iron ore industry over here in WA. It looks like the big three have hit the reset on their hiring, and they're just going to start looking at doing it in the beginning of next year again. And that just goes to show you who in the industry actually needs people and who doesn't. If you have a look at what's going on in coal, unfortunately it's even worse. I covered this in a video last week. It's Glencore's closing down or temporarily shutting some of their mines, and this has come up in the last couple of days where Peabody is they're getting rid of a lot of people, unfortunately. You know, it's just part of mining. You get these situations where you turn up to work one day and they tell you that you no longer have a job because the mine's shutting down. It's happened to me a number of times. One time on a gold mine, it turned out that they couldn't work out why they weren't making any money, so they shut the mine down, and it turned out for the last 6 months of the mine life, 3 guys out of the mill were stealing, they stole about $2 million worth of gold, and that's why the mine didn't make any money. As far as the changes go within the industry, there looks like there's going to be a new normal, and that new normal will be wherever the mine's located, whichever state it's in, the mine will want you to live in that state. There'll be no, if you get a fly-out job in Perth, there'll be no going from Perth back to the eastern states. They'll just want you to hub out of Perth. And it'll be the same in Queensland and the same in New South Wales. They want their workforce as close to the project as possible so they can guarantee that they've got a stable workforce, because without a stable workforce they don't make any money. And at the moment, if you're in gold and other places like nickel, the gold price is huge and the nickel price is well and truly above 22,000 Australian a tonne. So everybody with a nickel or a gold mine or a copper mine, even, because copper's back over $10,000 Australian a tonne at the moment as well, with the price rise in the last couple of weeks, everybody's trying to have a go. And that's where you as a new starter need to have a look. I know people will have invested a lot of time and money into preparing themselves for coal mining, but that's just not going to be an option going forward. They're just not going to hire that many new starters, or the new starter jobs that you possibly would get in a coal mine won't pay very much, and it'll be more of a wage suppression thing, hiring new people rather than having to pay $150,000 to hire an experienced miner. So now that everything's happened, if you want to try and rejig yourself into an area of the industry that's actually hiring, then like I was saying before, the gold and the nickel is going to be the place to go, and the copper as well. And that's Mount Isa, Cobar, Kalgoorlie, all up and down that belt and all the way across into the west. There are mines that are mining all those sort of things that are looking for people. So if you want to try and have a crack at getting in, then I suggest you have a look at the sponsors training, the DIY. It goes through everything that the employers would want you to know, and it lays out a really good way of getting in. In the back of the seminar, it gives you good and clear instructions on what you have to do to your resume. I'll just be upfront with you. If you send in a resume with a whole bunch of tickets on it to a hard rock underground mine, it's just going to get culled straight away, because one of the things about hard rock mines is that they have to issue all their tickets on site, so tickets are non-transferable. So that's one of the many things and the many tricks, or not tricks, but the many ways that hard rock underground differs from other industries, and the course is full of that information, and that can help you navigate yourself into a job quite quickly if you're in the right place at the right time. If you're stuck in Victoria, unfortunately, you're probably not going to get the opportunity to access a mining job anytime soon, whereas if you're in New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia or WA, or the Northern Territory for that matter, there are mines all looking for people that have got the knowledge that's contained in this training. So I hope you find that information helpful, and unfortunately the rug does get pulled out from underneath in mining. So a good rule of thumb that I was taught when I first started was to have 6 months' wages in the bank, just in case something happens, and you've got a little bit of a buffer there so you can move forward and find yourself another job. And, unfortunately, I've had to use that a few times. But again, that's just the nature of the beast. And you can still go broke going into a boom. You only have to look at, there's a gold mine around Kalgoorlie where they've had to shut a multi-million-dollar gold mine down because they've lost a whole level and they're trying to work out how they're going to save it. So, it just goes to show you that know what's going on to get yourself in, and that, these things do happen in mining. It can be a very fluid industry. So I hope that information helps. If you've got any more questions that you want answered, just send them through, and if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.